I don't normally make videos about politics, but this is making me angry. Today, a panel convened by Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the Secretary of Health and Human Services, met to make changes to vaccine recommendations. They claim that
mRNA technology poses more risks than benefits for these respiratory viruses.
This panel also raised questions about whether COVID was actually that bad and whether the CDC inflated their numbers. So I want to show, using widely available data, that the vaccines were in fact effective. But instead of using the CDC numbers, which this panel didn't like, I'm going to use the mortality rates of the United States. These are exact numbers, and importantly, they're not trying to determine a cause. They are simply stating whether someone has unalived. But any statistically significant changes to these numbers will indicate that something dramatic has happened and will give us hints as to what the causes were. And here it is. Notice that COVID started in 2020, and a vaccine became available in late December, but it wasn't universally available until the end of 2021. But let's do statistics to determine whether that bump is significant. I fit a line starting in 2010, and there's a standard deviation of about 30,000 people from year to year, which means that if there's a jump of more than 30,000 people from one year to the next, that is a statistically significant effect. I was going to put a line showing what 30,000 individuals looked like, but that was actually hard to see. So instead, I have 200,000 individuals, which is more than 6 times the standard deviation. And in fact, the jump in 2020 was even more than that. There were over 500,000 additional individuals. And it only started to come down once the vaccine was widely available. So this clearly shows that something dramatic happened at the start of COVID and something else happened about 2 years later. Do you want more data? Here's what happened in England and India. Both of them had spikes and then came down because of mRNA vaccines. Want to see a vaccine that's not effective? Let's look at China. They didn't use the mRNA vaccine. They used an inactivated virus instead, the kind that RFK wants to use. You can clearly see that they don't have control of this thing. Fortunately, my state has decided that I can still get the vaccine regardless of what this panel says. Thanks for watching.